So it's the debacle of getting the Roadrunner out on its first test drive. Low engine. Now the brakes. I broke it. Take a bunch of rocks and throw it on it so the you guys saw in last video, we got the thing fired up. And it ran freaking amazing, except it wouldn't idle. Here's a few things. There's 3 major things that was a problem, and also 3 problems that I have solved now. First of all, it wouldn't idle, as you guys saw. Boom, we got that fixed. I figured out that apparently on this really neat mopar M1 intake manifold over here, in the rear, I don't know why I didn't see this or whatever, but I put on this Edelbrock for fun just to test out this Edelbrock carburetor. It backfired once up through the carburetor, and I couldn't put the fire out. So I finally got a, I don't know, towel or something and laid it on top, and the fire went out. But however, after the fire, there was of course a lot of smoke in the intake plenum, and the throttle was closed and the choke and everything, so the smoke only had one way to escape out. And guess where? Over here in the rear, I don't know if you guys can see it, I have a bolt screwed in right there with some sealant stuff on it. Now before, there were, I guess I would call it a stud or a bolt with no bolt hole on. Shoved into the hole, and I just thought, okay, so he closed the hole off, the previous owner or whatever, so there wouldn't be any vacuum leak. So yeah, sure, great, that's fine and dandy. But apparently there was a tiny hole drilled out with a drill bit or something for probably some kind of vacuum leak or something. I don't know what it was for, maybe for nitrous, I don't know. And suddenly I started to see the smoke rise out of that little hole, and of course I knew already there, bam, we got a big idle surge right there. Low engine. So fix that, put a bolt in, and now it idles. So that's great. And then of course, after I shut off the video and played a little bit around with like the whole idle stuff, then I got the car a little bit up to temperature, and I had to put water in it, just a little bit of water, and the water pump started to leak out through one of the bolts or something. So I already knew this water pump was kind of a bad unit. It had a little bit of noise. I'm starting to change it out right now. I had the pulley wheels off and they're on your belts, but listen to this. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's kind of like gravel inside the bearing, you know? It's not really good. I got you one of these GMB units, which is supposed to be like a high flow, high volume. I took the one that was cheapest, let's just say it like that, and quickest delivery, because living in Europe problems. So then we're gonna put the belts and everything on it again, and then we're gonna put all the water and coolant back in it. Then the radiator problem and the idle problem is fixed. Now the brakes. Apparently the last owner, and I don't know why I didn't thought about this, it's not that obvious in these calibers or whatever, okay? You know, woke up while sitting there trying to bleed them, and I'm looking at the bleeder screw like, wait a minute, that's the bottom of the piston. I'm never gonna bleed this. So I switched the 2 calibers around. Luckily they can switch around. And there we go. I got a rock solid hard brake pedal right now. Probably one of the best brake pedals I have had in any car, period. So that's fixed too. I'm really just thinking we have to put the front end back on, but we're gonna do that after our first test drive. I wanna go out and see if this thing drives, okay? I don't care about the front right now. I wanna go up the street right here. Today's video is going to be all about cosmetics. The Roadrunner is somewhat done, if you will. It's on the wheels, it's driving, it's braking, and stuff like that. But as you all know, we still need a front end. So what we're working on right now is the lower valence. We're going to get this painted gold. The upper valence slash inner hood support bracket over there, also has to be painted gold, plus patina matched, of course, to the outside of the car. The same with this one. This one doesn't matter as much because it's gonna sit completely entire below the car, whatever. So you're not gonna see that much. And then also one thing I want to try to do, and I'm gonna do this probably in steps, because it's gonna be kind of hard to go back, if you will, is paint the headlight bezels. I think these cars, B-bodies, 73, 74, whatever Roadrunner, looks way better with like painted headlights and stuff like that, kind of like the 71. But I think I want to try to like replicate like a 69 Dodge Charger front end or whatever. So we're gonna try to do that and see whatever happens. So right now I'm in the process of like taping it up and then just grinding into the chrome a little bit. Oh, aluminium as it is, but yeah, whatever. Light bezels that grind down, and we got our first coat on number 2 bezel over here, and this one is dark. So I painted them satin black. Honestly, looks a little bit too shiny or bright for my taste, but I don't know. Let's see when it gets on the car and there's a little bit of shadow on the front and stuff like that. It might be okay, because I don't want to go completely matte black either. So I don't know. It looks decent. This one also has a bunch of dents and whammies in it. And of course, we're gonna get the grille on, front valence, lower valence. We also need to do the bumper and stuff. But in a jiffy, one thing at a time. So I'm sorry if you guys can't hear me right now. Suddenly it got really cold and now there's a rainstorm outside. But anyway, we got the front upper valence panel painted, and the inside of it, I painted it like, as I did the engine bay, painted it proper gold and a clear coat. But on the outside, I did kind of a little other technique, if you will. I did like more of, I probably did like 6 or 7 really light coats. And apparently with this paint, it gives it a little bit more of a like more light gold or whatever, like more whitish gold. Fits the car really well. The problem with the correct color on the car is it actually has like metallic in it, flake in it, if you will, the original paint. Well, this is just like gold with no flake or whatever. So you're gonna be able to see the difference. That's just how it is. But from you know 20 feet or whatever, it's gonna look good. And I'm probably gonna go on and scratch up the panel a little bit. Honestly, take a bunch of rocks and throw it on it so to get some patina, you know, or take a screwdriver and jam it in there, or drag my keys around a little bit on it or something to make it look better, you know, because right now that panel is too good looking compared to the other panels. We want to get stuff like this: paint chips, scratches, small dents where the paint flakes, stuff like this, right? And we're gonna do the same on this thing. My idea is to kind of make the front end look like a 69 front end, like a 69 Charger or 70 Challenger. So you have the black grille, right? And then if we have the light buckets out here, then if we paint this piece black in here, then it's kind of like a big black opening in the grille, right? And then I was also playing around with actual painted black down here, so we get like a really big like black deep grille look and whatever. And then actually paint the outside out here gold. But I'm gonna do it in steps. So right now it's just blacked out in the center and still chrome around. Then we're gonna put the whole front end on and see if I like it, or if I want to go the next step and paint it black there on the inside. And then the next step, paint the gold all around the edge. And then the next step, paint it black all the way around down in the left corner. That's the plan at least. Headlight buckets, headlights. Then get these panels situated, which probably has to tie into the upper valence. So I think we're gonna throw in the upper valence, bolt these to the upper valence. Then we can tighten them in here. Then I can tighten this bolt. Then I can tighten this bolt for this panel out here. Then we can put the bumper bracket on. Then we can put the bumper on. And then we can start to put the bezels on and the grill.
Don't be too hard on your suspension as you roll over the ground. They're gonna want their percentage, boy, set aside some to unwind. There just ain't enough.
It took the hood a little bit back and it closes down real nice, as you can see right here. Look at that. I'm gonna put the bumper on, the headlights, put the headlight bezels on, try the headlights. Haven't done that yet, so I have no idea if we actually have light. Put the bumper on, and the lower valence panel, I'm gonna wait with that because you can put that on afterwards. And I ran out of the old gold paint. So.
Borrowed time. So listen to that eternal engine whine.
Okay, here's a quick update. It's 2 days later. I got wheels and tires. The thing is kind of lowered a little bit. The last 2 days, I've been using my time to pull the whole transmission and driveline again. So what you guys didn't see on the small test drive / fire and idling out here in front of the barn is I couldn't get it to go into gear, as in go into any gear. And this is an automatic big block crankshaft with the Brewers Performance Pression roller bearing setup. Really bad quality input shaft from 1973. It's known to Mopar that they don't machine the shaft all the way, and there's interference with these aftermarket input pilot bearings setups or whatever. But mine was a lot apparently, because I ground down like what you were supposed to or whatever, or at least what I thought so. And also test fitted with an original like bronze bushing or whatever, and that fitted up nice. But when I pulled the transmission again, and sadly I couldn't remember how I put this thing together because I was one man alone holding the transmission, trying to bolt it on, and you know, never a good idea. Late night, it's 12 p.m. and stuff. Just not a good idea. Anyway, what I pretty much done was press fit the input shaft to the crankshaft. So no matter what, the input shaft was doing crankshaft speed. So the synchros couldn't slow down input shaft or whatever. So 2 days later, and I've been boxing this thing in and out as quick as possible. And let me tell you, by the way, with a 73 B body up with the torsion spring crossmember, man, that's annoying to get the transmission in and out, because you gotta pull like the torsion springs again, and not pull the torsion springs, you gotta adjust them again and pull the crossmember. It's a debacle, okay? I have like 10-13 hours into this. I mean, it's quick, and I've done it before, you know, on an old Dart and stuff like that, but it's finally done, it's on the ground. And yes, the wheels have came in. These are 15x8, 4 backspace, wheel Venticure tire, wheel Venticure wheels or whatever. Mopar steel is, by the way, so I can run Mopar center caps and stuff. I'm most likely gonna buy some like retrofit redline tires and a dog cap, like the little police hubcap or whatever. I think that's gonna look really cool. I'm not gonna lie, I could definitely have bought an 15x10 in the rear, but I don't know if I wanted like the grip and the big tires of 15x10 with this stock transmission and clutch and stuff going on. And then you can easily see, like, fitment wise, I could easily put like a 1 inch to 2 inch space on it. So yeah, these are 255/70 tires, some old BF Goodrich I had laying around. And you might think, oh, he put on lowering blocks in the rear. No, those springs are just shot. That's original 70 springs. So that's great, nice. Looks cool though, but drives kind of terrible probably. But let's close the hood and get like a full vision of this thing back together. Also, you can see with the front end on, painted the light bezels there black on the inside. I'm probably gonna do like gold there on the outside and then black on the inside there, so we kind of get like a 70 Challenger 69 Charger lookalike thing front. That's the only thing I always kind of hate a little bit with the 73 Roadrunner is the front is just missing something. However, body lines and all the other panels in the rear end, I like that better than the 71, 72 Roadrunner. But here's the big test. Can we move it? Does it drive? Oh yeah, by the way, doing the transmission in and out dealio, I noticed there was a tiny hole in the original, not original, somebody else put like actually a real nice like aluminum 3/8 fuel line in, but apparently there's a little hole in it. So I'm gonna cut that section out, So the steel line section is going to be smaller, and the rubber hose end from carburetor to the steel line is going to be longer or whatever. Yeah. And then also my brand new alternator from a Wrong Auto doesn't work. So yeah, that's great. Also, there's a full exhaust on it now. Header gaskets, collector gaskets. Didn't have that on before, so it was kind of a little bit. Full X-pipe out to the old mufflers that this car came with, and dumping right at the rear axle, literally like 90s in under the axle or whatever. So gonna be cool to hear that too now. But yeah, let's see if the transmission works. That's what I'm most worried about. It probably doesn't. Knowing my luck, it probably doesn't work, but we're gonna try anyway. Before, you really couldn't get it into any gear. One time it went into 4th gear, but that was probably just pure luck. So let's see now. Hell yeah! Success, big time. A little bit to that clutch and transmission, man, it feels nice. It literally feels like a modern car. I broke it! So first test drive is never a joy. Now I have exhaust on and suddenly I can hear the engine, and I don't think this was before. This is just arrived, this problem. I started hearing like a nasty valve ticking sound or whatever. I knew it wasn't the bottom end because it was like a fast tick, you know. There's a difference between bottom end and valve train. You can always hear valve train is a little bit quick or whatever. And it was a pretty bad sound, not gonna lie. And luckily I caught this, but this adjusting nut right here, as you can see, on this entire rock arm here, is just gone. Like, I don't know what's going on here, but we gotta adjust that and make sure there's no damage. I just wiped it off or whatever, but there was this bunch of like silver oil running down here. You can probably see it inside the valve cover too, right here. Can you see that? Right there, that stain? That's just metal stuff. That's definitely some kind of, as you can see right there, aluminum or something. Not good. So I probably want to do an oil change real quick at some point, and I'm gonna go through all the rockers right now, readjust them, or at least check if they have come loose or something. Because none of the others were loose. There was one that I could tighten a little bit. I'm just gonna roll this engine over again, adjust this valve, get it tight, and then I'm gonna go over to the other side and recheck everything. Because man, if that would have come further out, then we would most likely have stripped the threads in the rock arm. Then we would need a new rock arm, and the push rod could dance around and do all kinds of stuff. So, oh dude, I'm not built out to have expensive and fast engines and stuff like that. I thought I done did the engine, you feel me? Like, sell the rig while it still drives and stuff, but I think we saved it. So let me adjust this, and we're gonna try and test drive it again. Update, tried to adjust the thing, and it just kept getting loose every time I tightened it. I literally think it's just a strip knot, and the lucky thing is the stud itself or the threads in the rock arm doesn't appear to be shredded or destroyed, so hopefully I have another type of this knot or whatever that I can throw on, and that should save the engine. Still gonna check the other side and everything. That's some risky business right there, and the threads is a little bit damaged on the stud itself, but I don't know. I'm gonna see what I can come up with. Okay, so the other side's checked, cleaned up the gasket and put on the valve covers again. So now we're gonna fire it up again, see if there's any noise. Also tighten down the header because there's a little bit of header leak. Sadly, I think the header collector gaskets or whatever too is leaking, even though it's new gaskets. But the old flanges or whatever is a little bit, tiny bit. So that's probably just what it is. Then we're gonna have to buy some like really beefy, thick ones. So what I'm gonna do now, fire it up, see if the sound is still there, and then we're gonna try to dial in the ignition and the carburetor a little bit. This is just a temporary carburetor, but you know, just so it runs decently. And then we're gonna try to drive it up and down the road again. It's looking like to be a rainstorm right now, so we only got 2 minutes. So timing is set around, I think, 34, 35 degrees total, something around there, and. I'm having a real trouble with the carburetor. I can kind of dial in, but it either gonna idle at like 1200 RPM, or if I try to screw the idle screw just like a little bit in, then it just falls on the face all the way down to like 400 RPM or something. Something weird is going on there. And then also these cheap headers, and maybe also gaskets, well, they're already leaking as crazy. So if you hear a lot of like dun 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 header leak stuff, then yeah, that's it. It's not any valves that are floating around now and making a ruckus or making some kind of crazy noise. So that's great, I guess. But yeah, that's kind of annoying. So kind of already want to order new proper headers and new gaskets. That's great, because it already sounds like a tractor because they're already blown out or something. I don't know. Yeah, cheap stuff. I guess you get what you pay for. In this case, in a trade deal on Facebook Marketplace. But anyway. At least there is headers, I guess, I don't know. And also the header gaskets, collector gaskets, are already leaking too, so yeah. It literally held for like 1 or 2 fire-ups of 30 seconds, the whole exhaust system. 1 trip up and down the road, that was it. Now it's done, so yeah, that's great. Anyway, let's try to take it for another test drive.